can't speak Tamil, that's why I can't do this. Hello everybody, vanakkam ellarukkum. My name is Jules and thank you for tuning in to my review of Maara. This is actually going to be my first ever Tamil movie review, so I would appreciate absolutely any feedback that comes my way. I will give you my quick 5-second thoughts, which is that this is a fantastic full family film. Something, if you're looking for something to watch with your kids, with your parents, with like your uncles and aunts, like this is a movie that you can put on and most people in that room will probably enjoy it. I do have a few critiques, but I'll get into that later in the review. So let's jump on into it.
So this film was directed by Dhilip Kumar and it's actually his directorial debut. It's a remake of the 2015 popular Malayalam movie Charlie, and it stars Madhavan and Shraddha Srinath. It came out on January 8, 2021 on Amazon Prime in most locations. This film starts and ends with a fairy tale, and I think it's this full circle element that makes it such a widely enjoyable film. If you watch the trailer, you'll know that we follow our female lead, Paru, as she arrives for restoration work but stumbles upon a town-wide mural depicting a unique story that she was told as a child.
So let's start off by talking about the good parts of this film, and I have to say the acting is amazing and Madhavan is perfectly casted for this role. I swoon over Madhavan every time. I love him, and so I'm a little bit biased, but I think no one can deny that he does these kind of characters really well, which is someone who's very charismatic, someone who's very charming. I think Shraddha Srinath, she does a great job. I don't think I've ever seen her. Actually, I think she was in Vikram Vedha, so I must have seen her in that, but I think she does a stellar job in this role. She's a kind of the actress. She's not given a lot of dialogue in terms of her ratio of dialogue to screen time, so a lot of her acting is very just in her expressions, and I think she does a great job with that kind of doe-like look. And also just she brings a lot of whimsy with her acting as well as with her costuming. So whoever costumed her, I think, did an amazing job as well. It just really added to the feel of this kind of storybook-like feeling without making it look too cartoonish or overdone. And in terms of supporting actors, there was a huge cast, but for me, at least of note, was Abhirami, who plays a sex worker. And she does an amazing job kind of just portraying a character that is down on her luck, but still a little hopeful. And she has this kind of lightheartedness that she brings to this character who's had a considerably rough past. And I thought it was really, she was not on screen for a very long time, but I thought it was very touching. And Mr. Mooley, of course, I love him in these kinds of roles where he plays these father-like figures. It's nothing too different, but I think he does a great job as always, kind of being this kind, helpful elder man who's kind of like a mentor to Maara. And another thing that I have to mention is the production value in this movie. I think it's amazing. It's very beautiful and pleasant to look at, and I think that's all thanks to the cinematography. If I had to describe it in one word, it's like lush. And the film takes place in mostly two settings, and one is more of a hillside and pastures, and one is like this little eclectic town. And I think even in that town, the cinematographer does a great job making it still feel lush. The scenes, and there's always a lot to look at on screen, but he still manages to make sure that the characters are the focus. And so I think he really strikes that balance and helps the film get like that whimsical feeling. And I feel like I'm saying like whimsy a lot, but it's basically because this movie really leans into that feeling of storybooks and fairy tales, and it does all of that while still remaining, I think, pleasant for children as well as adults. So I think the cinematography definitely plays a large part in that as well. We've talked about the good, let's talk about the not so good. And these are just my criticisms of the film. I would love to have a conversation with you guys down below on whether you agree or disagree. I'll start out with my most objective criticism, which is that the movie felt like it was too long. I could really feel the length of this movie. And I think part of this is because of the pacing of the plot. So literally, I think half of the movie is devoted to us really discovering Maara, kind of literally page by page. And then it really starts to feel like a drag because the plot is quite linear and it's kind of kept very airy and lighthearted And because there are no stakes for the character, there's no like building of tension at any point really in this movie, it starts to really feel like a drag kind of in the middle. And then many more things happen at the end. So I just wish it was paced a little bit better, and I think I could have been engaged throughout the whole film. The characters are quite one-dimensional, which I think is fine. Like, I don't really know who their audience was, so I think they were trying to strike a balance, and I think they did an okay job of it. But for me personally, I like my characters to have a little bit more depth, and if they were going to spend so much time on Maara and who he is, I wish I could have learned a bit more about him other than being this almost like mythical creature. So yeah, I think those are my criticisms. And so in conclusion, I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. Which sounds a little bit low, but for me personally, that just means that the movie was solid, but it wasn't for me. So an 8, 9, 10 has to be the kind of movie that I really like. So it is really on personal preference, but a 7 just means it's a solid movie for what it was trying to do. So I go back to what I said in the intro. If you're looking for a movie that's lighthearted, that's family friendly, and that's just pleasant to watch, I think this is the perfect film to pick up and watch next time. In terms of criticisms, like I said, for me, the plot was paced a little too poorly for my taste. I like it when there's more stakes. I like it when there's more tension. I like it when there's going to be more character development if you're going to devote that much of the movie to kind of understanding a character. I feel like there wasn't enough. I know some people don't like comparisons, but I actually find them really helpful in terms of recommendations. So if you're looking for movies and you like movies like Three Idiots or Nanban in Tamil, I think you would really like this movie, or at least enjoy it somewhat. And for me, Madhavan movies, I think movies like Three Idiots and Manminde Nambu really still rank much higher for me on my favorites list. So overall, 7 out of 10. I hope you guys, if you guys watch this film, please let me know your thoughts, whether you agree, whether you disagree, and if you have any other movies that you would like for me to review, I would be happy to do so. Just leave it down in the comments below. And if you want to stay tuned for any future videos, please feel free to click subscribe. So wherever you guys are, I hope you guys are having a wonderful and happy and safe day.